Welcome to NarrativeNook audio tales where enchanted stories come to life. If you enjoy our stories, please subscribe, like and share to support our channel. Enjoy listening.
Harmony was listening to the speech attentively when her phone pinged with a message. She glanced at it subconsciously and saw the message from Ruben, which made her grit her teeth in anger without replying. "I thought you were pure and clean in the past. I never expected you'd be a courtesan in front of your sugar daddy. How many times are you servicing him at night?" These words were truly disgusting. After she read the message, her pretty face flushed with anger. She gripped her phone tightly, bit her lip, and chose not to respond. Shameless people like Ruben would only get more aggressive once they receive more attention. Suddenly, she felt that Catalina was not her enemy but rather someone filtering out the scum for her. Fortunately, Catalina took him away, otherwise, she would never have discovered his true nature. Seeing that Harmony was not responding, Ruben lost interest in humiliating her. Arabella tugged at her neckline intentionally while saying to Ezekiel, "Oh my! It's hot in here. Is the air conditioning even on? I'm sweating." After speaking, she deliberately leaned her ample upper body toward Ezekiel's side. If he turned his head, he would surely notice it. However, he seemed oblivious and was entirely focused on the program on stage, paying no attention to her. She felt bored and then glanced at Harmony jealously. After the speech on stage concluded, the awarding of team awards began. Harmony heard her crew winning another award, so she was genuinely happy. The director personally went on stage to receive the prize, and Ezekiel leaned over to praise, "Great job. Your team has won another award." She also responded happily, "Yes. I'm happy for our director. Do you think you'll win an award tonight?" He could not help but ask. Harmony had a good sense of self-awareness, so she shook her head and said, "The works tonight are all too outstanding. I know I don't have the strength to win an award yet." Ezekiel smiled while waiting to unveil the answer later. Various awards were presented one after another, and Catalina's crew won the Best Design Award. When she went on stage to receive it, she acted pretentiously by taking the microphone from the host and saying a few words. Soon, the awards escalated from smaller to more significant categories. The first to be presented was the Individual Achievement Awards. The most eye-catching awards of the night were the Golden Peony Award and the Black Hawk Award, equivalent to Best Actress and Best Actor awards. Eventually, almost all the awards were presented, and it was around 8:30 p.m. The most anticipated award in this circle was about to be revealed. Soon, the nominated films for the night appeared on the big screen, and Harmony saw her movie listed there, exciting her. Being nominated was already a recognition. After that, it was the thrilling moment of unveiling the winner. Next, we will announce tonight's biggest award. First up is the winner of the Golden Peony Award. Who could it be? Who will win this award? The host on stage began to stir up the atmosphere. The music was changed to a more drumming rhythm, stimulating everyone's nerves and making everyone excited and nervous. All the female artists nominated tonight were excited as they covered their red lips and fantasized about winning the award for themselves. Next, we invite our guest of honor to come on stage and reveal the answer. We invite Mr. Ezekiel, president of the Weiss Group International, to be our guest presenter. Let us welcome him. When the host read this name, it sounded exceptionally powerful. Harmony also turned her head in astonishment to look at Ezekiel on stage. "Oh my! He's the one presenting the award. Wait, it's you!" She was genuinely surprised because this man had not mentioned this before his arrival. Before Ezekiel stood up, he leaned close to her ear and whispered, "See you in a bit." After saying that, he straightened his suit and got up. In the beam of light falling on him, he looked like a perfectly walking piece of art that was elegant and captivating as he stepped onto the stage. His face was enlarged on that large screen, and it was a face that made every woman's heart race. Harmony felt a bit bewildered. What did Ezekiel mean just now by saying, "See you in a bit"? Where would they meet? Did it mean that after presenting the award, he wouldn't return to his seat? Was he planning to leave from the backstage? That was what Harmony presumed. She looked toward the stage excitedly and saw Ezekiel receiving the envelope containing tonight's award. His slender fingers opened it and took out a card, which revealed the name written on it. Mr. Weiss, I believe you already know tonight's winner of the Golden Peony Award. Please announce it for us, the host said excitedly. Ezekiel took the microphone, looked down at the audience, and, in his deep, captivating voice, announced a name. Harmony Mayo. Just as Harmony was mesmerized by Ezekiel's graceful demeanor, she suddenly heard her name, and her mind felt like it exploded, as if she had misheard it. Was it her imagination? Did Ezekiel just say her name? Did she hear things? At that moment, the director from the row behind her hurried over and tapped her. Harmony, what are you doing standing there? Hurry up and go receive the award. Is it really me? She turned to ask the director because she wasn't sure if it was really her. Yes, it's you. Miss Harmony Mayo, please come on stage. Ezekiel's voice was gentle yet full of authority on stage, and his smiling demeanor directly charmed the group of women below the stage. It was unbelievable. Harmony confirmed it, it was indeed her. She stood up and felt a bit awkward as she walked under the admiring gazes of everyone. Catalina clenched her fists in jealousy. How could it be Harmony? Was there something fishy here? It must be because of Ezekiel's connections that Harmony was chosen. It's her again. She just got the Best Actress award recently. Is she going to take all the awards this year? One female artist complained. Yeah. Another agreed. Catalina joined their conversation, saying, the man on stage is Harmony's sugar daddy. Who can compete with her? How did she manage to hook up with this man? I've never heard of this president of the Weiss Group. Of course, you haven't heard of him. He's from Dansbury, and half of Dansbury's assets belong to his family, Catalina said jealously. Other artists shook their heads and wondered how Harmony managed to entice him. Harmony was extremely excited, and her mind was in a daze. As she ascended the steps to the stage, she tripped and stumbled down before kneeling on the stairs. Just when she felt utterly embarrassed and wished she could disappear on the spot, a large hand reached out in front of her. She extended her hand without a word. He grasped it, pulled her up, and then held her waist. He guided her to the center of the stage. Miss Mayo, you've won another award. Can you share your feelings? The host came over for a quick interview. I'm extremely excited. I can't believe it, Harmony answered truthfully. Haha. Miss Mayo, you're so honest, but this is a testament to your ability. You deserve it. The host laughed. Next, let's invite our guest of honor, Mr. Weiss, to present tonight's Golden Peony Award to Miss Harmony Mayo. Congratulations. The audience erupted in applause. Meanwhile, at the fifth row on the left, Reuben looked like he had been struck by a nerve, and his face was extremely unsightly. How could he feel happy seeing Harmony not only have a wealthy sugar daddy but also thrive in her career? As the staff brought the trophy on a tray, Ezekiel reached out, picked it up, and handed it to Harmony. Congratulations, Miss Mayo. Tears of excitement welled up in Harmony's eyes. She looked up at the smiling man and finally realized that when he said, "See you in a bit," he meant seeing her on stage. So, he knew she was going to receive the award. Thank you, Mr. Weiss. Harmony accepted the award and nodded at him gratefully. Let's take a photo together. Please look at the camera, the host suggested insightfully. Ezekiel placed his arm lightly around Harmony's shoulder, and both of them smiled at the camera. The camera captured their moment. They were a pair of enviable individuals. Meanwhile, Catalina was in the restroom as she instructed her internet ghostwriters, go all out and attack her. Find any faults from tonight and use them against her. Even before Harmony had left the awards ceremony, attacks against her had already started online. First, they spread rumors about the unspeakable secrets behind her award and insinuated she obtained it by sleeping with a high-ranking individual. Following that, some online provocateurs released chat records that seemed to be from insiders. They stated that Harmony wanted to move to the front row, got warned by the staff, and had to return to her original seat. There were also claims that as a junior, she disrespected her seniors, and the reason she won was not because she outperformed others in the nomination but because she schemed to snatch away the award behind the scenes. These three accusations were enough to tarnish Harmony's reputation thoroughly, and they created an impression of a newcomer using any means to climb to the top. Of course, Harmony's fans tried to counter these claims online, but the sheer number of internet ghostwriters drowned out their voices. Harmony and Ezekiel stepped out of the award ceremony into the evening breeze. She appeared stunning tonight. Perhaps it was because she received an award, or perhaps it was this man's presence. Tonight, she exuded a radiant charm like that of the moonlight. He couldn't help but look at her when he stood on the steps outside the event venue. She seemed to have many things she wanted to say to him, yet she lacked the courage because she couldn't grasp his true intentions toward her. Was it affection? Or just assistance out of kindness? Therefore, she maintained a polite demeanor. "Mr. Weiss, thank you for presenting me with the award tonight. You've given me an unforgettable evening. Likewise, I'm honored to present you with this trophy." "Of course, you truly deserve it," Ezekiel said. Harmony pursed her lips and had a question that had been troubling her. She didn't know if she should ask him. "Mr. Weiss, I have a question, but I'm not sure if I should ask you." "Go ahead. I'll answer any questions truthfully." Ezekiel raised an eyebrow. "Was I able to get this award tonight because of your connections?" Harmony asked curiously because she never harbored hopes of winning tonight as she knew how exceptional the other works were. He folded his arms, then shook his head confidently. "It wasn't because of my connections. I only received the notification to present the trophy." Harmony's beautiful eyes widened slightly. "Really? You are outstanding, and you deserve this award," he comforted her. Only then did she breathe a sigh of relief. No matter how much criticism she received, it didn't matter. Upon hearing Ezekiel's words, she finally accepted the award with peace of mind. "Harmony, I've been looking everywhere for you." Sarah found her way over, and upon seeing Ezekiel, she exclaimed excitedly, "Mr. Weiss, so you were here to present the award to Harmony." Ezekiel smiled faintly when he saw her manager arrive. "I'll take my leave then." "Sure. Take care." Harmony watched him leave. She kept her eyes on him as he walked toward his convoy until he got into the car. Sarah looked at her, then at the departing car, and couldn't help but cough lightly. "He's gone far. What's there left to see?" Harmony's cheeks reddened, and she handed the trophy to Sarah. "Sarah, can you hold this for me? You've won another award." "That's great." Sarah shared her joy, but quickly cautioned her. "Harmony, there's a lot of negativity about you on the internet now. Don't go online, and don't let it affect your mood." "Perhaps I offended too many people tonight," Harmony remarked. Many were secretly jealous of her getting this award. In this circle, the resources were limited. She took some of it, which naturally meant someone else got less. Hence, it was customary for people to attack her. Several factions of internet ghostwriters were vehemently attacking her, causing her to trend as the top topic, titled "Digging Deep into the Rising Star's Past." Clicking into the content would reveal Harmony's embarrassing moments from her early acting days. It was critiqued one by one, almost as if they aimed to vilify her publicly. Catalina sat in her car and admired the handiwork funded by herself, feeling proud. Ruben remained silent while sitting beside her. Tonight, he felt quite discontented too. Harmony receiving the award felt like an unseen blow to him. "Don't look so down. Harmony won't be able to hold on for much longer," Catalina said to him. "Didn't you see the way that man treated her tonight? He's definitely going to promote her. Catalina, aren't you quite resourceful? Why haven't you pulled her down?" Ruben asked. Catalina sneered. "Why are you in such a hurry? Do you think I can't handle a minor figure like Harmony?" You better make her leave this circle. I feel sick just seeing her, he said in frustration. She glanced at him and suddenly realized something. She seemed to have done Harmony a favor by eliminating a tasteless and graceless jerk for her. Instead, he ended up in her hands. She couldn't shake him off now. Damn it. She had inadvertently done a good deed, which allowed Harmony to meet someone like Ezekiel. Back at the hotel, Ezekiel was handling work-related matters. Meanwhile, his assistant, Les Holland, was surfing the internet. Soon, he stumbled upon some information and murmured, "Why is Miss Mayo being criticized so harshly?" Ezekiel paused from his work and reached out. Who's criticizing her? The netizens. Did she offend someone by winning the award tonight? Ezekiel stopped what he was doing and gestured. Show me. Miles immediately handed over the tablet. Ezekiel browsed through a post about Harmony by the anti-fan, which was filled with malicious language. He was ridiculing Harmony's education and her family background. At that moment, a line of text struck directly at his heart, causing his pupils to dilate. She was an orphan. Ezekiel had thought Harmony came from an ordinary family background, at least with both parents alive. But unexpectedly, he stumbled upon her background online and learned that both her parents were deceased. She's a jinx who causes misfortune to those around her. She's destined to be alone and without support. It was a netizen's comment about her. Upon seeing this sentence, Ezekiel felt a surge of anger. Harmony had already suffered the loss of both her parents, yet these people were using her pain to attack her. Miles, contact Dan's crew and tell them to come to Averna for promotion this time. I want him to bring the lead actors here and join Harmony for the promotion. Wow. Miss Mayo's status will be elevated to that of an international movie star with just a word from you. Mars chuckled and then asked nosily, Mr. Weiss, do you like Miss Mayo? Don't pry into my personal matters. Follow my instructions and get it done by next month. Understood. I'll make sure to boost Miss Mayo's popularity for you. Ezekiel continued to scroll through the tablet and ignored the hateful comments. He saw a glimpse of Harmony's struggles in this circle, from her early days facing various hardships to her simultaneous filming and rigorous efforts to enroll in the film academy. He could see she was a hardworking and determined individual. Such a person shouldn't be subjected to malicious attacks even if she was not praised by others. At night, Harmony took a shower. Her long hair was draped over as she leaned on the couch comfortably while lost in thought. She seemed to have developed a liking for spacing out lately. On the other hand, Sarah became busy. Even though Harmony was heavily criticized, her acting skills were acknowledged. After all, being criticized was a form of publicity. Sarah had at least 10 scripts in her hand and was choosing earnestly. Simultaneously, she handed a few scripts to Harmony. Here. These are the ones I've selected. Take a look and see which one you would like to film. Harmony snapped out of her reverie, picked up the scripts, and flipped through them. They used to plead with production crews for acting roles in the past, but now, many roles would come knocking at their door. The shooting period for TV dramas is long, so let's hold off on those for now. You've already entered the movie industry, so let's consider film roles. Sarah, let's choose a script with fewer intimate scenes. Harmony suggested. Sure. We'll choose one with fewer intimate scenes. Sarah accommodated her mood. Then, she put down the scripts and asked sincerely, Harmony, you're not really falling for Mr. Weiss, are you? Something tugged at Harmony's heartstrings. She shook her head. No, I'm not. Don't hide your thoughts from me. Tell me the truth. I'll see if I can offer you some advice. Liking someone is not a crime. Saying it out loud won't make us embarrassed, right? Sarah saw through her thoughts. Indeed, Harmony had a lot on her mind, and Sarah was the only one she could confide in. Sarah genuinely cared for her. Harmony was prompted as she pursed her lips and nodded at Sarah. Yes. I like him. Sarah chuckled. It's hard for any woman not to like him. Even I like him? Harmony lifted her head and looked at Sarah in shock. Sarah, you dash. Don't misunderstand me. I'm so much older than him. I like him, but I'm more of an old fan. Sarah laughed as she added. Sarah, I don't know what to do. I'm afraid to show my feelings in front of him and even more afraid of him finding out that I like him. I understand. He's too noble and perfect. You fear you're not qualified to fall for him, Sarah said. Yes. That's exactly how I feel. He's right in front of me, yet I feel like he's unreachable. I'm afraid of causing him trouble, disrupting his life, and even more afraid that I won't see him again. I've never felt so inferior in front of someone. Harmony's expression turned desolate. Sarah looked at her with sympathy, walked over, and hugged her. You're outstanding too. Don't belittle yourself. Just stay calm. If Mr. Weiss likes you, he'll definitely show it. Harmony sighed in relief. Speaking out indeed made her feel better. She nodded. Okay, I understand. Around 10 a.m. the next day, Harmony was preparing to go out to meet a director when her phone rang. She picked it up and her heart raced. It was Ezekiel. Hello, Mr. Weiss. Let's have lunch together at noon. Ezekiel invited her. At noon? If you're busy dash. Not at all. I'm free, Harmony replied hurriedly. A low chuckle came from the other end. Great. I'll come to pick you up at noon. Send me the address to your apartment. Okay. I'll be waiting for you. As soon as she finished, she asked impulsively, Mr. Weiss, would you be willing to have a meal at my place at noon? I'll cook. Ezekiel surprisingly agreed. That's a good idea. I've grown tired of outside food. I'd like to taste your cooking. Okay. I'll go buy groceries. Is there anything specific you'd like to eat? Just make something you're good at. I'm not picky, Ezekiel said. All right. See you later. Harmony smiled. Her day had suddenly become very meaningful. After she hung up the phone, Sarah, who was in front, asked, Aren't we going to meet Director Page? Sarah, I've invited Mr. Weiss to my place for lunch at noon. I won't go meet Director Page. Can you help me cancel the appointment? Sarah nodded. All right. I'll help you cancel it. Let's go to the grocery store together. I can go by myself. It's better for you to stay indoors for now. There are still many crazy fans out there. It's okay. I want to pick out the groceries personally. Harmony smiled. Her mind immediately conjured up her usual signature dishes. She couldn't afford to mess up today. At the grocery store, Harmony wore a mask and pushed the cart while shopping with Sarah. By the time they finished shopping, it was already 11 a.m. Harmony hurried back home to tidy up. She bought a 120 square meter apartment and decorated it in a very simple and minimalist style that she liked. After Sarah dropped her off at home, she said, Harmony, it's rare for you to spend time alone with Mr. Weiss. Seize the opportunity. Harmony's cheeks blushed. Sarah, don't get weird ideas. Sarah laughed heartily and then left. Harmony's heart was still beating rapidly. She looked at her home and began tidying it up carefully. She was a very clean person, and her entire house was almost spotless. Ezekiel set off from the hotel. He didn't bring along any bodyguards and drove alone to Harmony's residential area. After registering at the gate, he entered. Upon entering the elevator, two girls, who were engrossed in their phones, suddenly glanced outside to see a man holding flowers entering the elevator. Their hearts skipped a beat. My goodness! He's so handsome. Are the flowers for his girlfriend? Ezekiel pressed the button for the 18th floor. It was his first time going to a girl's house alone, so he bought flowers on the way. He hoped that Harmony would like them. Harmony heard the doorbell and hurriedly ran out of the kitchen. As she peered through the peephole, she saw Ezekiel. Then, she reached out and opened the door. She was greeted by not only the handsome face of the man but also a bouquet of roses emitting fragrance. Her heart rate skyrocketed. This man was unexpectedly so romantic. He even brought flowers for her. "For you. I hope you like them," Ezekiel said in a low voice, his deep gaze filled with anticipation. "I like them a lot." "Thank you. Please come in." Harmony opened the door wider to welcome him in and brought out a pair of men's sandals she had prepared beforehand. Ezekiel walked into her home and immediately noticed her good taste. Although it wasn't large, it was extremely cozy. "Your home is very cozy," Ezekiel complimented. Harmony placed the flowers on the cabinet, feeling a bit nervous and excited. "Mr. Weiss, as long as you don't mind it." Ezekiel turned his head and smiled. "Of course not." She suddenly noticed that this man's pupils weren't purely black but had an amber hue. It was an unusual and charming trait. "Why would I mind? I like your house." Ezekiel then asked, "Can I take a look around?" Harmony nodded. "Of course. Feel free to look around. I'll be in the kitchen." Ezekiel nodded and began to tour the place. Although the interior was just over 90 square meters, because she only had a master bedroom, other areas were relatively spacious. He looked at her study room, where a few rays of sunlight streamed onto the desk, showcasing the potted plants and giving it a thriving ambience. He didn't enter her master bedroom but found many other areas in her home worth stopping and admiring. For instance, her photo wall. The wall displayed pictures meticulously arranged by age, from her infancy to childhood, teenage years, and adulthood. He watched a girl grow up proportionally. She was adorable and beautiful as a child, had the youthfulness and innocence of adolescence, and had a graceful and sweet demeanor as an adult. Ezekiel took out his phone and snapped a few pictures of the photo wall. He intended to savor them later. Among those photos, aside from the ones with her parents, there were only portrait pictures of her, without any other men in sight. He found himself increasingly drawn to her, and he found her even more attractive. At that moment, Harmony's phone rang, but she was washing vegetables in the kitchen and didn't hear it. Ezekiel glanced at the screen and was surprised to see the word jerk displayed. Apparently, it was a call from Ruben. Harmony seemed to have forgotten to block his number so he could still call her. Ezekiel hesitated for only a couple of seconds before reaching for Harmony's phone and pressing the answer button. A man's voice came from the other end, and he sounded somewhat intoxicated. "Harmony, is that you?" Ezekiel didn't say anything, which made Ruben think that Harmony was deliberately staying silent. Ruben sounded quite despondent. "I know you're listening. Can I talk to you? I really want to talk to you." Ezekiel frowned. As a man, he knew very well that this was just Ruben's tactic. Ruben was trying to win Harmony's sympathy by acting forlorn. "I've been suffering a lot lately. I miss you so much. I admit I'm scum, but Harmony, you must admit that I'm a gentleman. We've been together for 5 years. You didn't let me touch you, so I haven't touched you in 5 years. This proves how much I love you. Do you know that?" Ezekiel's pupils slightly contracted. He hadn't expected to hear such news. "Because I couldn't bear to touch you. I promised you that we would keep the most beautiful moment for our wedding night. Who could endure 5 years for you just because of one sentence? Only I would do that. But you turned around and gave your first night to someone else. You gave it to that scoundrel. Do you think that's fair to me, Harmony? Are you listening? I regret it so much. If we were together, would you not leave me?" Ruben obviously sounded intoxicated, and there was a hint of incoherence in his words. "Is he better than me? Do you know what I can do? You haven't experienced my skills yet. I'm definitely not inferior to him. Harmony, do you want to try it out with me sometime?" Ezekiel's eyebrows furrowed. What nonsense was this scumbag talking about? His relationship with Harmony was clearly pure and innocent. "I won't let you down, Harmony. As long as you say the word, I'll prove that I'm not worse than Ezekiel. Can I sleep with you? Even if it's just for one night. Ezekiel raised his head, only to notice that the water in the kitchen had stopped running. Harmony might come out soon. He felt a hint of nervousness and immediately hung up Ruben's call. He didn't want Harmony to know that he had eavesdropped on her call and heard so much of her private matters. When she came out, he was still sitting a bit tensely and said, "Your phone rang just now, and I rejected the call." Harmony walked over, glanced at her phone, and found it was from Ruben. She couldn't help but express her anger. "I actually forgot to block him." After saying that, she intended to block Ruben, but Ruben's call came in again. She hung up directly and blocked his number promptly. However, she didn't know that Ezekiel had just listened to nearly 3 minutes of the call. "Is everything okay?" Ezekiel asked as he looked at her. "It's fine. It's just that seeing this call affects my mood." "Delete it and never contact him again," then, Ezekiel said with a tone that carried a hint of dominance. After hearing Ruben's extremely vulgar words just now, he hoped this jerk would never harass her again. Harmony blocked the number and placed her phone down. "Please wait for a bit. I'll go cook." "Do you need any help?" Ezekiel asked, smiling. She waved her hand quickly. "No need. I can handle it myself. How about a cup of tea for you?" "All right." Ezekiel nodded. His days were usually packed with work, social engagements, and meetings. But right here, he was suddenly free. It seemed like he had plenty of time and patience to wait. He felt a sense of enjoying life here. "I don't have disposable cups here, so if you don't mind, you can use mine," Harmony said somewhat embarrassedly because she had only used cups at home. Ezekiel raised an eyebrow in a dashing fashion. "Your cup looks very nice. I like it a lot." She saw that he not only said it but also poured a cup of tea and took a sip. It proved how much he didn't mind. Harmony's pretty face warmed slightly. Then, she headed back to the kitchen. She couldn't let him wait for too long since he was her guest. As she busied herself in the kitchen, Ezekiel flipped through a book nearby. It was a classic novel, and she had marked it with a bookmark. It indicated that she was someone who enjoyed reading. In this fast-paced era, how many people were willing to take the time to read a book from cover to cover? Harmony would occasionally sneak a peek at the man in the living room, who was engrossed in reading while she was in the kitchen. She found this scene incredibly serene and beautiful. After a while, it even managed to evoke a sense of yearning in her heart. However, she quickly tossed aside her unrealistic thoughts. Just when she was lost in her thoughts, she suddenly remembered the dishes cooking on the stove and hurriedly went to check on them. Meanwhile, the man on the couch lifted the teacup and gazed at the slender and charming figure in the kitchen. She was currently wearing a long, casual t-shirt, which was simple and elegant. It revealed her slender and straight legs, which were a huge attraction for any man. Ezekiel thought about Ruben's words earlier. Could Harmony have told him that they had slept with one another? Otherwise, how could Ruben be so sure they were together? A faint smile tugged at Ezekiel's lips. Even though she had used him as a shield, it was still quite interesting. Harmony prepared 4 dishes in a soup after puttering about in the kitchen for 30 minutes. Her culinary skills were quite good primarily because she rarely ate out and often had to prepare her own meals after she became a celebrity. "Mr. Weiss, dinners." "Ready," she called out. He stood up and corrected her. "Don't call me Mr. Weiss from now on. You can call me Ezekiel, and I'll call you Harmony. Is that all right?" Harmony was taken aback by his request. This change in address seemed to bring their relationship closer instantly. She was thrilled as she nodded. "Sure." After Ezekiel sat down, Harmony quickly served him food, and he readily accepted the dishes. Her cooking today was on point, and she hadn't slipped up even for a moment. Still, she just wasn't sure if these dishes suited his taste. The instant he took a first bite, she looked at him nervously and asked, "Is it too salty?" He shook his head and nodded appreciatively. It's very good. Then, she urged, try this fish. Ezekiel also took a small bite before praising her, it's really good. It's very delicious. Harmony finally felt herself relax, especially since she thought the food tasted decent enough. What do you usually do at home? He asked curiously. Whenever I'm not filming, I read books, do some yoga, and dance at home. Sometimes, I go to the nearby gym, Harmony replied. Then, she returned his question with one of her own, inquiring, what about you? I spend most of my time working. When I have free time, I would go rock climbing, fishing, or hitting the links. Oh, I'm quite the equestrian if I do say so myself. I would race with my friends from time to time, Ezekiel promptly answered. Harmony had refrained from asking him the question for so long. Did he have a girlfriend? He had helped her so much, and they had appeared together in public several times. If he had a girlfriend, she would do everything in her power to avoid making any public appearances with him in the future. Ezekiel, can I ask you a question? She summoned up the courage. Go ahead. Do you have a girlfriend? She asked, avoiding eye contact. She truly couldn't bring herself to look at him when she finally posed the question. A hint of mirth appeared in Ezekiel's eyes. If I say I don't, would you believe me? She couldn't help but smile. You're right. I don't. You're so outstanding and handsome, there have to be countless people chasing after you. He chuckled in amusement. I can assure you that I truly don't have a girlfriend. It's not that I'm not desired. It's just that I've always been busy with work and haven't found the time for romance. Harmony felt relieved and said, that's good. Otherwise, I was worried it might affect your relationship since we've appeared publicly together so many times. Ezekiel reassured her, saying gently, don't worry. You won't ever have to be troubled with such problems when you're with me. Harmony nodded in acceptance. Time flew by in the blink of an eye, and they had finished their meal by the time they came to their senses. Ezekiel had 2 bowls of rice and a bowl of soup. It was clear that he was satisfied with the meal. Shall we go shopping at the mall later? Ezekiel suggested. Harmony was more than happy to accompany him. He drove the 2 of them to a nearby high-end mall, which was home to some of the world's top luxury brands and a shopping haven for the wealthy. Can I wear a mask? I've been targeted a lot recently, Harmony jested. Frankly, she was terrified of being recognized when she was just trying to have a good time. He smiled and nodded. Of course. In his eyes, she exuded a lovely aura that made people unable to resist caring for her. So, Harmony's captivating eyes still stood out even though she was wearing a small, black mask that covered half of her face. Ezekiel glanced at the directory, which indicated the women's section on the 6th floor. Thus, he promptly took her straight to the 6th floor. Harmony usually didn't shop here unless the brands were willing to sponsor her by lending out their clothes. Although she was an up-and-coming celebrity, she still didn't have the means to buy any clothing from these high-end stores. So, even though she had achieved some fame as an artist, her casual wear was on the affordable end of the scale. Ezekiel appraised the clothes that were displayed in the window and selected those suitable for Harmony the minute they arrived on the 6th floor. He walked into a well-known store and immediately thought the clothes there were perfect for her. Harmony asked curiously, "Are you buying clothes for someone?" He smiled mysteriously. "Yes. I want to buy some clothes for a girl whose height, weight, and style are similar to yours. Can you try on a few outfits for me?" Harmony blinked in surprise. She nodded as she was more than happy to help him. Nonetheless, she couldn't help but find herself curious about the relationship between Ezekiel and the girl he wanted to gift these clothes to. She had only asked if he had a girlfriend earlier but forgot to ask if there was a girl he liked. What if he did and hadn't had the time to confess his feelings to the special girl just yet? At this moment, she knew for certain he had someone in his heart. "Sure. I'll help you with that." Harmony agreed. "You can pick the clothes, and I'll try them on once you're done." Ezekiel began selecting clothing for her through the catalog. He picked out several outfits that he felt were suitable. Soon, he had chosen 7 or 8 sets without bothering to consider the prices. He just chose the designs he liked. Okay. Please try them on. We'll visit other stores after this, he said. Harmony couldn't help but wonder. He had already chosen so many outfits from this store and still wanted to visit other boutiques. The girl he liked sure was a lucky one. Harmony obediently tried on each set of clothes while Ezekiel looked very serious as he assessed them. Finally, he paid for the rest after dismissing 2 outfits as unsuitable. Harmony sat on the couch and listened as Ezekiel provided the address and contact number to the attendant for the items to be delivered later. Then, he took her to another store after leaving his contact details. She had worn more than 10 different outfits after going through several stores. These 10 suits weren't just clothes, as they also included accessories and shoes, which were all in her size. She thought, Ezekiel bought so much. What if the sizes don't fit? Won't they have to come back to exchange or return them later? He should have called the girl he liked to try them on. That way, he wouldn't pick the wrong size. Let's go into this jewelry store. Ezekiel was here to buy jewelry yet again. Once again, Harmony felt from within the cockles of her heart that the girl he liked was truly lucky. Ezekiel entered the VIP room, where the attendant brought in 10 sets of jewelry. The diamonds and numerous jewelry sparkled with an enchanting brilliance under the lights. It was clear that they were beyond expensive. Try wearing them and see which ones you like. Or, do you like all of them? Huh? Harmony blinked. This. Do I also need to try them on? Harmony was extremely surprised. In that case, there's no need to try them on. I think they all look good. Let's take them all. Ezekiel said without any reservation. The nearby attendants were all smiles. My goodness! Where did this young master come from? He just made a massive purchase. All of these cost millions. Harmony was secretly amazed. However, considering his background, these things were probably just little trinkets to him. As they exited the jewelry store, she wondered if he still needed to buy anything else. Still, she had to admit that she had experienced something totally different while accompanying him. She had visited the high-end stores she wouldn't usually enter and enjoyed the visual treat. However, he seemed like he wasn't ready to leave just yet. He spotted a watch store and said to her, "Let's go in and take a look." After that, he led her inside. He had a keen eye and immediately picked a women's watch. Harmony looked at the price. She remembered this particular model had just been released and was extremely difficult to acquire. Even the ladies of high society had been showcasing their purchase like a peacock the instant they got their hands on such a model. "Sir, you have an excellent eye and incredible luck. This watch just arrived today. As we don't accept reservations, this watch is the only one available in the country," said the attendant. Ezekiel said to Harmony, "Give me your hand. Let's try it on." Harmony had resigned herself to become his model for the day. So, she handed her hand to him, and he placed the watch on her wrist. It was very high-end, and it showcased a woman's taste and demeanor. "Do you like it?" Ezekiel asked her. Harmony blinked. "I think it's very beautiful. Any girl would like it." He curled his lips into a smirk after hearing her opinion. "All right. Let's go with this one. Is the young lady here going to wear it?" "We'll adjust the watch band for you then," the attendant suggested eagerly. Harmony hastily waved her hands and smiled. "No. It's not for me. It's for his friend. Make the watch band according to her wrist size," Ezekiel instructed. Harmony was bewildered. So, she stared at him dumbly as she asked, "Is the other lady's wrist the same size as mine? Shouldn't you clarify before doing such a thing?" "I'm sure it's the same as yours," he said as his lips curled into a meaningful smile. The nearby attendant saw through it all. She couldn't help but envy the girl wearing the mask. A handsome man like him was clearly buying it for her. Maybe this girl was a saint of saints in her last life. Harmony then offered her wrist to the attendant for measurement. Just then, Ezekiel's phone rang. He picked it up, glanced at Harmony, and said, "I'll step out to take a call and be back in a while. Wait for me here." "Okay." She nodded. When he went out to take the call, the curious attendant couldn't resist asking, "Miss, is that handsome guy your boyfriend?" Harmony smiled and replied, "No. We're just friends." The attendant thought to herself, "This lady is rather dense." It was so obvious that the handsome guy was buying the watch for her. Was she truly unaware of the fact? The attendant didn't ask further and focused on measuring Harmony's wrist. Just then, 3 people rushed into the store. One of the girls immediately asked upon entering, "I heard the new blue Morning Star model is available. Show it to me right now." The girl had barely finished speaking when she noticed the watch she wanted on Harmony's wrist. Moreover, she recognized Harmony at a glance. So, she removed her mask and revealed her face. She was Ariel Roland, an artist born into a wealthy family and was known as the princess of the entertainment circle. It was said that she entered the industry just to experience acting. Nevertheless, she won the Best Actress award at the age of 20 due to her excellent resources and connections. Unfortunately, she hadn't been active for the last 2 years, so the Best Actress award fell in Harmony's lap.
Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed this story, please like and share so others can see it too. Also hit the subscription button and notification bell so you can be notified on our next release. Thank you for your support. God bless you.